Unveiled, the surprising worth of Coco Gauff's portrait, a tribute to women of Delray Beach. There are moments in history when art stops being just art, when a canvas becomes a heartbeat, when a portrait becomes a movement, when a single story opens a doorway to hundreds more. This is exactly what happened in Delray Beach, Florida, the quiet coastal hometown of tennis superstar Coco Gauff, when mysterious portrait, hidden from the public for months, was finally unveiled. What began as a local art project soon spiraled into a cultural phenomenon, sparking national conversations about legacy, womanhood, and the stories we choose to remember. But the biggest shock wasn't the portrait's message. It was its worth. Art appraisers, collectors, and historians quickly valued the painting an astronomical figure, far beyond anyone's expectations. But the city insisted it would never be sold because its true value, they said, was beyond money. This is the untold, imaginative story of that portrait, how it was created, what it represents, and why its unveiling moved an entire community to tears. The mystery begins, a secret commission. It started quietly almost a year before the unveiling. The Historical Society of Delray Beach announced a confidential commission with only one hint: an artwork celebrating the extraordinary women who shaped Delray's past, present, and future. No one imagined Coco Gauff would be at the center of it. The city simply said the artist chosen was internationally respected. But the identity was kept secret until the unveiling. Rumors spread like wildfire. Some believed it would be a mural of the city's early pioneers. Others thought it would be a tribute to local educators and civil rights activists. A few guessed it could be tennis-related. But no one expected a painting so massive, so intricate, and so powerful that it would be compared to the works found in national museums. The grand unveiling. Gasps through the gallery. The unveiling took place on a warm Sunday evening in front of a small, invited crowd inside the Arts and Heritage Hall, a room usually reserved for modest community events. But that night, velvet ropes, security guards, and news crews filled the area. The painting was hidden beneath a dark maroon cloth, tall enough to nearly touch the ceiling. Then, finally, with a slow, ceremonial pull, the cloth dropped, and the gasp began. Some people covered their mouths. Some burst into tears. Some stood frozen as if struck by lightning, because the portrait wasn't just a portrait. It was a visual epic. The portrait, a story told in brushstrokes. At the center of the portrait stood Coco Gauff, painted at nearly life-size. She wasn't holding a tennis racket. She wasn't in action. Instead, she stood barefoot on warm Florida sand, wearing a flowing white dress that gave her an almost angelic presence. Her posture was confident yet serene. Her expression was thoughtful, as if she were contemplating the stories of the women behind her. And behind her, woven in swirling colors of gold, indigo, and deep emerald, stood 7 women representing different eras of Delray Beach history. Their faces didn't appear all at once. The closer you moved toward the painting, the more the figures emerged, layered in subtle detail. Each woman had her own pose, her own voice, her own reason for being there. The 7 women behind the portrait won. Harriet Monroe, the land pioneer. Her family once tended the earliest groves along the coastal ridge, long before Delray had paved streets. 2. Louise Davis, the teacher. She opened the first school for African-American students, operating it from a church porch when no building was offered. 3. Gloria Sandler, the civil rights organizer. She led peaceful marches that changed voting access and community rights across Palm Beach County. 4. Marian Torres, the midwife. Her name is legend among older locals. She delivered over 300 babies by hand during the 1940s and 50s. 5. Savannah Collins, the artist. A painter whose work was once overlooked but later rediscovered, now a local icon. 6. Dr. Elaine Rue, the healer. A doctor known for offering free care to migrant farm workers during the 1980s. 7. Joelle Patterson, the coach. A sports pioneer who opened the first public girls' athletics program that Coco herself later benefited from. These women weren't famous outside Delray Beach. But in this portrait, they stood like guardians, like ancestors, like pillars of a legacy that Coco represented to the world. Coco's reaction, a moment of overwhelming emotion. When Coco entered the gallery, She didn't know what to expect. She walked in smiling, but the moment she saw the portrait, her breath caught. She placed a hand on her chest. Her body swayed slightly. Then the tears came, slow and silent. She stepped closer, studying the faces behind her own. "I know her. My grandmother talked about her," she whispered when she recognized Louise Davis. The room fell silent. Her mother wrapped an arm around her. Her father wiped a tear discreetly. Coco finally spoke the crowd. "These women built this city before anyone cared to write their names down. If this portrait helps the world learn their stories, then I'm honored to be part of it." Cameras flashed, journalists scribbled, and even the mayor choked up. It was the moment the unveiling became history. The artist revealed, a genius at work. After the applause settled, the painter stepped forward. Her name was Sabine Aldridge, a Haitian. The global effect, a movement inspired by Delray's project. Other cities began commissioning similar tributes to their unsung heroines. Museums launched exhibits centered around local women who changed their communities. Coco herself became part of the global conversation, not just as an athlete, but as a symbol of empowerment. During an interview with a national network, she said, "I didn't earn a place in that portrait because I'm a tennis player. I earned it because I try to uplift others, and because those women uplifted me." Her words struck a chord. In the weeks that followed, hashtags like #Women of Delray, #Portrait of Strength, #Coco Legacy began trending worldwide. The portrait had become a movement. Coco's private visit, a final moment of reflection. One night, just before the portrait was scheduled to travel for a limited exhibition tour, Coco returned to the gallery alone. No press, no crowd, just the soft hum of the building's air conditioner. She pulled up a chair and sat in front of the painting for nearly an hour. She whispered a quiet, "Thank you," to each woman in the portrait. To Harriet, to Louise, to Gloria, to Marianne, to Savannah, to Dr. Rue, to Coach Joel. She then stood, touched her own painted likeness gently, and said, "I hope I make you proud." It was the kind of moment that stays with a city forever. Conclusion: a portrait worth millions, a legacy worth more. Coco Gauff's portrait is now valued at over $8 million, but its emotional value cannot be counted. It is a masterpiece, yes, but more importantly, it is a monument to courage, a monument to forgotten heroes, a monument to progress, past and present. It tells a story that every woman, every child, every dreamer in Delray Beach can see themselves in. And perhaps that is why the portrait's worth is infinite. Money can buy art, but it cannot buy legacy. And this portrait? It is legacy carved in light, paint, memory, and soul. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like, and share. Till next time.